अस्सलाम वालेकुम इन्वेस्टर्स, मेरा नाम है फैज़ान तारिक और सीज़र कैपिटल के एक और एपिसोड के साथ आपकी खिदमत में हाजिर हूँ। जी तो लेट्स टॉक IMF। इंटरबैंक मार्केट का करेंसी पेग तोड़ना एंड लेटिंग द करेंसी बी मार्केट बेस्ड was a necessary but not sufficient condition for the IMF to come back. For the staff level agreement, there is a host of issues on the IMF team's mind. First, the political uncertainty creates doubts in the mission's mind about the ability and commitment of authorities to take the right steps. Secondly, slapping on more taxes is not enough. It is the quality of taxes that matters. Sustainable taxation measures should be taken, and not one-off taxes such as windfall taxes on banking income, enhancing of import duties, or reinstatement of withholding taxes on banking transactions. And lastly, the capacity to deal with the current economic mess seems to be missing at the Ministry of Finance and the State Bank of Pakistan. 2019 से 2021 के दरमियान under the PTI government, any slackness in the Ministry of Finance was well covered by the then leadership at the State Bank of Pakistan. As of now, none of the three, the State Bank governor and the two deputy governors, is a monetary economist. They have either banking or banking supervision experience. So sadly, the capacity to deal with the current exchange rate crisis is absent at the State Bank of Pakistan. Take the example of the recent statement issued by the State Bank of Pakistan, rebutting media claims that there has been a loss of $3 billion of inflow in the interbank market from exports and remittances because of the currency peg. The report highlights global slowdown and high inflation in foreign countries as the reason for export and remittance decline. तो भाई, competitive countries like Bangladesh की exports और remittances क्यों बढ़ रही हैं इस global slowdown और high inflation के दौर में? State Bank should get its act together, be open to constructive criticism, and be logical, objective, and sound in its communication to address the current crisis at hand. Terrorism has reared its ugly head again. The Peshawar mosque attack by the TTP was the deadliest ever since Kabul fell back to the Afghan Taliban. In August of 2021, the TTP now roam freely on the Pak-Afghan border, void of any threat from US Hellfire drones, and the Afghan Taliban have turned their back on Islamabad. Here is to hoping that our war-hardened security agencies root out the resurgent terrorism threat for good this time. जी तो SBP conducted consumer and business confidence surveys recently. Planned purchases for durable household items, car and property over the upcoming months have been shelved by the majority. Consumer confidence index has plummeted even below the time period when COVID was in full swing. मतलब sit back, relax, and think for a minute. Consumers were more optimistic about buying these goods in the midst of a global pandemic and countrywide shutdown than they are now. Businesses feel no different. With imports restricted and supply chain decimated, Dwindling demand is now a secondary issue for businesses. Fiscal prudence by the government and quick-witted policy making by the State Bank of Pakistan to get foreign lenders on board is the need of the hour and the first step towards a sustainable growth path for Pakistan's economy. अच्छा, वैसे तो पाकिस्तान has a liberal foreign investment policy that allows total profit repatriation to multinational companies. लेकिन lately multinationals have been found in distress. पिछले 4 सालों में हर साल on average $1.5 billion repatriate करने वाली MNCs यानी multinational companies सिर्फ $183 million भेज सकी in the last 6 months. और इसकी वजह कोई ढकी छुपी नहीं है. It's the curves and restrictions laid upon the dollar outflow by the State Bank of Pakistan as the country witnesses free falling foreign exchange reserves. This definitely does not bode well for attracting any fresh investment in Pakistan. Here is to hoping that the foreign exchange reserves situation improves in the near future by taking the much needed tough measures suggested by the IMF, and foreign direct investment in Pakistan can be seen from a positive lens by the foreign investors. जी तो टॉक ऑफ द टाउन इन्फ्लेशन पिछले तकरीबन 50 सालों की बुलंद तरीन सतह पर रिकॉर्ड की गई जनवरी के महीने में ईयर ऑन ईयर इन्फ्लेशन at 27.6%. Food prices have risen like never before, going as high as 47% in rural settings. Floods, import restrictions, currency depreciation, इन सब ने रोल प्ले किया है फूड इन्फ्लेशन में. अच्छा, going forward, it will take approximately a year for inflation to cool down. But before that happens, there is more pain in store. ये recent fresh round of currency depreciation, coupled with more taxes suggested by the IMF, and with energy price revisions, bijli, gas, petrol, diesel, we will see towering inflation before respite towards the end of the next year. All eyes are set on the ongoing talks with the IMF in Islamabad. As the review is completed and staff level agreement is reached with the IMF, we can expect PKR to appreciate in the interbank market. And seeing that, आपकी open market में भी improvement आ सकती है. But other than the IMF, there is another issue affecting supply in the open market. Exchange companies को third currencies में supply आ रही है. Euro, Yen, Pound, जिनको एक्सपोर्ट करके वो डॉलर्स इंपोर्ट करना चाहती हैं, लेकिन डॉलर्स की इंपोर्ट पे लगा हुआ है बैन. स्टेट बैंक को फौरन से पहले ये बैन हटाना होगा ताकि डॉलर्स की सप्लाई बढ़े और डॉलर की ब्लैक मार्केट का जोर टूटे. सो आफ्टर गेटिंग थ्रू विद द IMF and removal of this import ban on dollars, we can see the open market rate go even below the interbank market rate for some time. और इस तरह exchange companies excess supply of dollars को surrender कर सकती हैं in the interbank market, जो कि pending LCs की payment में या reserve building में इस्तेमाल किए जा सकते हैं. तो लिहाजा सारी नज़रें IMF डील पर टिकी हुई हैं. जी तो let's put some light on the information and communication technology sector like we did on our previous episode as well. Mobile network operators, MNOs, मोबाइल नेटवर्क ऑपरेटर्स की बात करें तो उन्होंने साल 2022 में 12% की ग्रोथ देखी अपनी मोबाइल ब्रॉडबैंड सब्सक्रिप्शंस में। Jazz secured the lion's share of the new mobile broadband subscriptions, 34% share, followed by Zong, Ufone and Telenor. Overall, अगर industry statistics को देखें तो 4G network still covers less than 60% of the population. So there is potential for growth. Moreover, 44% of devices on Pakistan's network are still 2G phones. But speaking of phones, mobile phone imports have crashed by a whopping 90% in the last 6 months of the calendar year 2022 due to import restrictions. और इसका असर डेफिनेटली नेगेटिव होगा मोबाइल ब्रॉडबैंड सब्सक्रिप्शंस की ग्रोथ में साल 2023 के अंदर। विद फॉरेक्स रिजर्व्स एट अ वेरी लो लेवल, मोबाइल फोन इंपोर्ट्स आर अंडरस्टैंडेबली nowhere on the authorities' priority ladder. Until the import restrictions are lifted in light of a revived IMF program, distributors and local assemblers of mobile phones such as Airlink Communication Limited, also listed on the Pakistan Stock Exchange, are set to face a difficult year ahead. And add to that an expensive dollar and eroding purchasing power, we can't see the demand for phones making a strong comeback anytime soon. Fresh investments by the mobile network operators on the 4G network expansion are on a strong decline, as seen in their financial results for the year ended 2022. Eroding purchasing power affecting users' communication spending, high energy prices, reliance on expensive backup power during outages, high cost of borrowing, both locally and internationally, squeeze on profit repatriation, and weakening PKR has shied away foreign sponsors of these mobile network operators from investments. इसीलिए foreign direct investment in the telecom sector for the year 2022 was a negative $151 million. Let's see what the year 2023 holds for the telecom sector, with high hopes on political and economic stability. अच्छा जी, देयर आर रूमर्स के बेस टैरिफ एक बार फिर रिवाइज किया जाएगा टू गेट बैक ऑन बोर्ड विद द IMF. याद रहे कि लास्ट रिविजन इन बेस टैरिफ took place just a few months back in October of 2022. Well, clarity on base tariff revision will only be there once IMF review is finalized and structural benchmarks made public. अच्छा, टैरिफ पे अगर एक नज़र डालें तो it is up to date. Actual cost plus distribution margins and surcharges are already in place. Monthly fuel price adjustments और quarterly tariff adjustments भी timely की जा रही हैं. So any surcharge will be counterproductive. बिजली चोरी बढ़ेगी, ट्रांसमिशन एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन लॉसेस बढ़ेंगे और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी डिमांड में मज़ीद कमी आएगी. सबको पता है कि पाकिस्तान के पावर सेक्टर का हल बिजली की डिमांड बढ़ाने में है, गिराने में नहीं, ताकि बिजली घरों के कर्ज़ों का बोझ ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सारिफीन पे तकसीम हो, ना कि सिर्फ मौजूदा सारिफीन पे। एज अ मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट, खाली बिजली चोरी से बिजली के गर्दिशी कर्जों में 250 अरब का इजाफा मुतवक्के है। सो हियर इज टू होपिंग that better sense prevails while negotiating with the IMF on additional surcharges. अच्छा जी, कॉटन स्पिनिंग इंडस्ट्री। कॉटन स्पिनर्स ने मुल्क की तारीख का हाईएस्ट रॉ कॉटन इंपोर्ट बिल रिकॉर्ड करवाया साल 2022 में, तकरीबन 2 अरब डॉलर्स, जबकि वॉल्यूम वाइज पिछले 3 सालों की लोएस्ट अमाउंट ऑफ कॉटन इंपोर्ट की गई। तो वजह क्या बनी रिकॉर्ड इंपोर्ट बिल की? इट वाज हाई कॉटन प्राइसिंग इन द इंटरनेशनल मार्केट। और दूसरी वजह फॉर लो वॉल्यूम्स ऑफ इंपोर्ट वाज द इंपोर्ट रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लेड डाउन बाय द स्टेट बैंक ऑफ पाकिस्तान। लेकिन अगले 6 महीने यानी सेकेंड हाफ ऑफ द फिस्कल ईयर 2023 seems to have a better outlook for the spinning industry. International cotton prices have come down almost 25% from the June highs, and with IMF funding expected to be unlocked soon, we can expect seamless import of cotton for the smooth functioning of the cotton spinning industry. अच्छा जी, lastly let's put a light on the oil marketing company. अच्छा, oil marketing companies की बात करें तो Shell, PSO और Atak Petroleum, all three companies listed on the Pakistan Stock Exchange, have witnessed a decline in their sales volume. Category wise, furnace oil sales have gone down 27% in the last 7 months. Diesel is down 23% and petrol saw a 15% decline in volumetric sales. और इसकी वजह है मुल्क में मुआशी बदहाली, जो कि गिरती हुई लार्ज स्केल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, ज़राई पैदावार और ऑटो सेल्स से वाज़े है। बढ़ती हुई महंगाई और मुल्क में सियासी और मुआशी बदहाली माली साल 2023 में पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स की सेल के लिए कोई अच्छा अंदेशा नहीं देता। टू मेक सेंस ऑफ ऑल द इकोनॉमिक न्यूज़ एंड डेवलपमेंट्स, मेक द स्मार्ट मूव टुडे and invest with Caesar Capital.